Candidate application form in Zoho Recruit. The candidate application form is an interface that allows a candidate to register their details with respect to a job opening. So to configure the candidate application form, navigate to Setup on the right top corner, select Career Site within Career Website, and navigate to the sub-tab Candidate Application Form. In here, you can click on the existing application form, and on the right panel of the screen, you can review the live application form that will be available for candidates whenever they try to apply for a job opening, either through a career site or on a job board. Now, if you need to add additional fields, you can do so from the left panel of the screen, where you can determine whether a particular field is required, optional, or you can turn it off completely. If a field is marked as required, the candidate will definitely have to fill the details in before they can submit their application. Apart from this, you can also choose to change the layout, where you can determine whether the fields on the application form are in a single column when you select single layout, or are they in a double column when you select double layout. Now, once you're done setting up the fields, you can also choose to add additional tooltips as well by clicking on the three-dotted icon against the required field. You can then choose to mark this as a hidden field, or if you click on Include Help link, you can choose to mark a tooltip either as text or as a link in text. Once you're done determining your fields on the application form, you can also choose to add a description under various sections of the application form as well. So these descriptions will add as a description for a specific category or a section on the application form. As we scroll down, we can also choose to enable CAPTCHA for the candidates to complete for a successful completion of the form, and you can rename the buttons as well. Within the Advanced Options section, you can determine whether an assessment is going to be included as part of the application form, or if it is going to be optional and a follow-up to the application form by deselecting the Include Assessment checkbox right here. Once you're done with the changes, you can then go ahead and click on Next Step. Within the Settings section of the application form, you can determine whom the ownership needs to be assigned to be for a record that comes through the application form, whether it's going to be a specific user once you select Choose a User, or if you select Choose a Candidate Assignment Rule, you're automating the process of assigning the ownership of a candidate to a particular user through an assignment rule. You can also choose to update the submission message that candidates receive as a result of them submitting the application form. And when you enable request for approval, automatically, whenever the candidates apply for a job opening, they will fall into an approval bin that can be accessed by navigating to the candidates module. Click on the three-dotted icon on the right top corner and select Approve Candidates. In here, you can find all the candidates that are available in the approval bin and then add them to your Zoho Recruit account. Once you're done, you can go ahead and click on Save. This will reflect the changes on the application form across all the various platforms that a job has been published to, such as the career site or the job boards. But keep in mind, candidate application form is job specific. That is, it can only be attached to a job when it is being published. You do not have a standalone application form that is not attached to a job opening. Now, if there is a scenario where you require a form for the candidates to register, but you do not wish to tie down the form to a specific job opening, you can utilize the alternative feature, which is Web Forms. Now, to configure and access Web Forms, you can navigate to Setup and select Web Forms under Career Website. In here, you can choose to create a web form from scratch for the candidates module or any custom module that you have on your Zoho Recruit account. And you can also choose to edit existing web forms as well. So whenever you create or edit a particular web form, on the right panel, you can see the list of fields that the candidate will have to fill in. And on the left panel, you can see all the fields available on the candidates module. You can also choose to change the layout on the web form as well as single or double layout. You can change the appearance in terms of the color schema and the font on the form as well. You can then go ahead, determine the fields that are required, rename the buttons, and include a CAPTCHA as well. Once you're done, you can then go ahead and click on Next Step. at which point you can rename your web form, select the language in which the particular web form needs to be hosted. You can then assign the ownership of the records either to a specific user or assign the ownership based on an assignment role. And if you enable double opt-in, the candidates will be required to confirm a verification email, only after which their data will flow through to Zoho Recruit. And if there are any keywords that need to be associated to the record, you can include tags as well. And apart from this, within the advanced options section, you can choose to restrict duplicate submissions so that no candidate can submit the same web form twice, or if they already exist, they will be restricted from submitting. And then you can also choose to set up an expiry date for the form as well, so that after the expiry, candidates will no longer be able to access the web form. And finally, you can set up a submission limit as well in terms of how many counts of submission can come through the respective web form. Once you're done, within the post-submission confirmation section, if you need the candidate to be redirected to another web page, you can enable landing page URL and select the web page URL as well. Once you're done, you can then determine whether the web page needs to be opened in the same tab or on a new window. You can also update the submission message as well. That is the message that the candidates receive as a result of them submitting the web form. And finally, under the notifications section, you can set up notifications for the candidate owner either through a system-generated mail or from an existing email template. Similarly, you can also choose to acknowledge the candidate either using an auto-response rule where based on conditions you can have different emails go out, or you can select a default response for all the candidates when they submit the web form. Finally, if you need the records to fall into the approval bin, you can enable request for approval as well. Once you're done, you can go ahead and save your changes to the web form. But keep in mind, because the web form is a standalone form, by clicking on the share button or the share hyperlink against the web form, you can retrieve the links for the standalone web forms that can then be hosted on a particular web page or shared across with various individuals for them to fill the web form in. Because this particular web form has been created in the candidates module, any information submitted through the web form will be registered in the candidates module. Similarly, when you create a web form for a custom module or the contacts module in the staffing edition, the records will fall into the respective module. Now similarly, when you click on share against a particular web form, you get the web form link, you get a short link as well, or you can also choose to get an embed code either in the iframe format, JavaScript or hyperlink that you can choose to integrate with your own websites or web pages. You also have a QR code available that you can choose to print, and whenever anyone scans this particular QR code, they'll be redirected to the respective web form. Finally, under the social integrations, you can choose to share this web form directly from within Zoho Recruit to the respective social media platform. So reiterating what I said earlier, application forms are job specific, but web forms are standalone forms that are not tied to any job opening.